40th year, the University of Nebraska-Lincoln has conducted a survey on land values and cash rents across the state. Researchers estimate land values as of February 1st of the current year compared to February 1st of the prior year. Their numbers show land values to be down roughly 10 to 15% from the highs of 2014. And of course, when you're dealing with such an important issue, there's going to be lots of questions. I sat down with UNL Extension agricultural economist Jim Jansen to get some answers.
Some folks may be wondering, why are my property tax assessments going up if the estimated market value of land has declined? The thing that we will point out to those individuals would be there's a difference between the way we calculate the market value when we have a willing buyer, willing seller, available sources of financing, versus the assessed value. Remember, the assessed value on agricultural land, which is different than commercial or residential property, is based off a 3-year median ag land value. So if we're looking back over the last 3 years of sales, the last 3 years they may have not been the high, but they're very close to the high.
So when a landowner wants to rent out his or her land, is there a better time in the year than others for that landowner to get the most money for that land?
So when we talk about setting cash rents, roughly half the ground in the state of Nebraska, whether it's for row crops, small grains, or grazing land, is rented out. What I've been encouraging many folks to look about or talk about is maybe make a verbal commitment. Yes, you can rent my land. We might hold off on setting our 2019 cash rent until we have more certainty on where the major commodity prices, and examples, corn, soybeans, pigs, beef cattle, whatever it might be. There's a lot of uncertainty in trade right now. That being said, we have to be thinking about what is the most equitable rate to be setting cash rents.
And for irrigated land, I know that the rental rates are sometimes a little bit different, maybe a little more complicated in that instance. Talk about what happens in a case like that with the irrigated land.
Right. Nebraska leads the United States in terms of the number of irrigated cropland acres here. Estimates peg it somewhere between 9 to 9.25 million acres. That being said, irrigated cropland, whether it's center pivot or gravity irrigated, tend to rent for more than what dryland cropland does. You're raising more yield, you have more stability in your yields, you don't have extremes in the fluctuations. That being said, there are key components to the irrigated cropland that might include the pivot, the power unit, the well, the pump. From our work that we recently completed here in June at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln from our special features section, we looked at that specific question. What would you discount the cash rental rate in the event the landlord doesn't own the pivot, doesn't own the power unit? Or the third thing that many folks focus on is, how do you conduct maintenance related to the irrigation system? Who's doing that? Is it the landlord, the tenant, the landlord and the tenant? Or even do you hire a third party to do that? So recent research findings we found on that evaluated the discount rate per acre.
So if a landowner has some land that they're wanting to rent out, what do you think are some recommended ways to negotiate a price that's fair for both sides?
If you're looking to either rent land or rent land out, first thing we need to understand is how productive is the ground. What would be a reasonable expectation related to the crop yield? How many cow-calf pairs can I put under there under normal circumstances? How related to the crop yields, how consistent are they? Do we have extreme fluctuations when we have drought? Or do we have irrigation out there that even when it was 2012, our yields were down, but not as down as much as our dry land counterparts were? 2, where are the expectations of the landlord and the producer? That's a key component related to the prices for the commodities we're raising. And the third thing is, what does that mean for crop revenue or livestock revenue on a per acre or per head or whatever basis? We need to talk about identifying a rental rate that is equitable given the needs of both parties involved. And if there is concern about where these prices, yields, or whatever might end up in 2019, we might take a look at a thing called a flexible cash lease. Let the cash rental rate within a range flex according to some factor such as crop yield, crop price, crop revenue, whatever it might be, that more equitably divides the cash rental rates to reflect those major things.
Okay, now I understand this can be a pretty confusing topic. That's why UNL Extension offers free programs all over the state that are open to the public to help in answering any questions and making the right decisions. Now, we'll have all this information online and on our social media pages too, but here it is right now if you want to write it down. The first meeting is November 19th in South Sioux City at the Northeast Community College Extended Campus. There's one on the 20th in Columbus at the Platte County Extension Office. And the last one in November will be in Broken Bow on the 26th. That's in the 4-H building at the fairgrounds. Next month, there are meetings too. We've got one December 3rd at the Divots Convention Center. We've got one the 12th in Alma at the Harlan County Extension Office. Ogallala will be on the 13th at Mid-Plains Community College. December 14th at the Dawson County Extension Office in Lexington. We've got Gage County Extension in Beatrice on the 19th. Then finally, you can also attend a meeting on December 20th in Hastings at the Adams County Fairgrounds. Of course, you can get more info at your local extension office or by emailing Jim at jjansen@unl.edu.